Hi, Dr. Nima. The question is healing anxiety. How would you approach that question?
This is one of the questions that actually inspired me to want to explore alternative methods and deal with emotions, because this was something that I had a big problem with. I'm going to give you an overview of it first, if I can use that word. Essentially, I discovered the discovery that I made fascinated me so much that I was wanting to kind of leave my practice and completely put all of my time and dedication into teaching people this. Anxiety, what I discovered was anxiety is a distraction from a lie that we tell ourselves, and we lie to ourselves every single day. And these lies come in the form of shoulds. And we live our lives, we have these desires that we want to live, but we have these idealisms in our minds, these comparisons, these subordinations of how we believe things should be. And so when we have this dichotomy between what is and what we believe should be, that gap between the two causes stress and anxiety. And that gap in between is basically is where the lie is. And let me give you an example. I had a patient who her husband was going through chemotherapy treatments for a testicular cancer, and she was afraid of losing him. But she would come in to see me for her adjustments, and she would always talk about how she has to be strong for her husband. She was crying to me, and I asked, "Would you ever talk to him about it and talk about your feelings with him?" And she said, "No, I can't." I said, "Well, why not?" She says, "Well, I have to be strong for him." So she had the belief that I shouldn't share with him my fear and my concerns about his cancer. So she had the belief that I should be strong. So fast forward about 3-4 months, the two of them, he was fine, he had his surgery, he was fine, everything was hunky-dory. They both come and see me, and she's saying, "I've been having panic attacks every morning for the past 2 weeks." And then I explained to her, I said, "You know, anxiety happens because of a lie, so where would you say that or it happens because you are burying and repressing a resentment. So it's either a lie or you're burying or repressing a resentment. So when you have a resentment, something you're really angry about or something you're really upset or you feel has been unfair, and you bury it inside and you try to put on this suit of armor and kind of work with that, your brain cannot function with that resentment. So what it does is that it creates a distraction in the form of anxiety, depression. Sometimes it manifests in physical signs and symptoms, so that you don't have to deal with that repression, with that anger, that resentment. So anxiety is also a very convenient way that the brain creates some sort of a distraction, so you don't have to feel that resentment. So I told her, I explained that this is what happened, this is what it was in my own life. I've done research, I've been working with people, hundreds of people one-on-one and in group scenarios, and I explained to them how they can uncover that lie, wipe it out from their consciousness, and then the anxiety and panic attacks are gone. And she said, "Oh, that's interesting, because I do have some resentments," and I got her to mention what they are. And then I took a little risk. I stopped her right there, and I said, "I want you to look at him right now, and I want you to tell him exactly why you were scared. Tell him how scared you were when he was going through the treatments." And she stopped and she was fearful. And she goes, "It's true, babe, I was so scared of losing you. I thought that I was going to lose you." And then I asked him, I said, "Is that okay that she has those fears? Would you give her permission to have that?" And he was like, "Of course I do.
Yeah.
Of course you're allowed to have that." And she just starts bawling. I said, "Tell him right now. Just let it all out. Tell him everything right now. Tell him how you felt. Tell him how scared you were." She goes, "I totally was scared. I thought I was going to lose you. I love you so much." And so she just let all of the truth out, what she was scared, and she just was bawling. He was bawling. I'm a bit of a wuss, so I'm bawling too. We're all just bawling around. There was other patients waiting to get adjusted. They hear everything. They're bawling too. And then I see her a week later. I go, "So how are you doing with that?" And she goes, "Panic attacks are gone." So it was just another confirmation that I needed, just to help people realize every single case of anxiety I've worked with has a lie or a should attached to it, maybe attached to an event that you're resentful about. But when you clear the resentment, the anxiety doesn't have to be there anymore. We're trying to eliminate anxiety as though it's the enemy. I'm here to tell you it's not the enemy. It's actually serving us. And when you can find gratitude in the anxiety, that's when it starts to dissolve. And another point that I want to make is some people who come to you as a practitioner and say, I have anxiety and I want it to go, it might not be true. Sometimes anxiety is a great excuse that people will use, not all the time, not consciously because they're bad people, but it gets them strategies that they're getting out of, that there's unconscious motives that they're getting from it. And so once you become aware of what those motives are and come to gratitude, how is this, by asking the question, how is this anxiety serving me? But no, it doesn't serve me. No, look carefully. One guy, what I did this with, he realized that the anxiety had saved his life because it stopped him from drinking, because he was getting panic attacks, he was losing control, and he thought, okay, I'm going to stop partying. I'm going to start paying attention to my physical health. I'm going to focus on my business. And he realized he wouldn't have put his focus in all of that if it wasn't for his anxiety. So anxiety, if we can come to terms with the fact that it's serving us in certain ways and find out strategies of how it is by asking, how is it serving me? And understanding that the main way it's serving you is that it's getting you to be distracted from what you're really pissed off about and what your true feelings are, you can start to appreciate anxiety. And that's how I got rid of mine. And so I just get a kick out of traveling the world and teaching people how to do the same.
Awesome. And along with that, is there something that you might say around depression at all? Just a tidbit? Yeah,
depression, we can do a whole nother call. You can ask about that, but it's the same thing. It's a comparison of how I am at this time, and I should be more successful. I should have the dream car, the dream relationship. I should be having more money at this time. You can't be depressed at this moment without a unconscious comparison that you're comparing to. And usually it's done by a subordination, somebody whose life you're comparing to. I should have my shit together because so-and-so does. And you're looking at other people, pictures on Facebook that show a one-sided delusion as well. So when you look and see that your life is an actual demonstration of your true values, not some subordination or a should, then the depression is completely gone instantaneously at that moment.
Great. Great. So that's an awesome answer. I appreciate that. So we're going to have an Atlanta event, and all of the information is right here at the bottom. There's a link to check on that in April.
Link if you have any questions or just follow up. Ask hashtag Ask Dr. Nima on social media, and I will be happy to do this. Or just contact me directly, and I'll do an answer here for everybody.
Is there an email or something like that too on the bottom?
Yeah, at the bottom. Just look at the link, and you can definitely find a way to contact and ask questions.
Excellent. Thanks, Nima.
Thank you, Melissa.